When a soldier takes a life in war, is he sinning against God? Well, we're going to talk about that today. When a soldier takes a life in war, is he sinning against God? I know that you've probably had some thoughts like, well, Pastor Ben, what about when the Bible says in the 10 Commandments that I shouldn't kill? Or when Peter said in 1 Peter, I shouldn't return evil for evil. We're going to talk about that, but first I wanted to answer the question. When a soldier takes a life in war, is he sinning against God? And the answer is actually no. Now let me explain. See, in Romans 13, we are called to submit to governing authority. And when we obey what the president and the government tells us to, we're actually doing what the Bible tells us to. And we are following the authorities that are over us. It doesn't mean that we always have to agree with it, but we're called to follow it. And when a person is a soldier, they are ordained by God to bring punishment. And let me show you. In Romans 13, Paul spoke about this. Watch this in verse 1. He said this. He said, let everyone be subject to governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted. And those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one that's in authority? Then do what is right and you will be commended. Then Paul said something so important in verse 4. Watch this. He said, for the one that's in authority is God's servant for your good. The one that's in authority is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for the ruler does not bear the sword for no reason. They are God's servant, agents of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. We are called to submit to authority and governing authority. God has established that so that you and I could be protected from evil. And when a soldier takes a life in war, he is not sinning against God. They're actually ordained by God to bring punishment. In fact, this is a great reason why you and I should honor those in positions of authority. Well, Pastor Ben, what about when the Bible says in the 10 Commandments that you shouldn't kill? See, the word used for kill is actually better translated as murder. And we could use Cain and Abel as that example. That was murder. Killing out of self-defense or to protect your country and stop evil and wicked behavior is not the same as murdering someone. Soldiers are to protect you and I and then punish those who bring evil on innocent people. And like what Paul said, they are actually called ministers of God, because they are protecting people from evil. So to sum up our conversation, when a soldier takes a life in war, he is not sinning against God. With that said, new content is dropped every Tuesday and Friday. So I encourage you to like this video, then share it, and subscribe to the channel. You could click right there, click subscribe, and then the bell so that you don't miss new content coming out.